What is going on, good people out there? Welcome back to another awesome JayNAS podcast. It is episode number 14, I believe. And of course, today we are going to get you up to date on the latest PC, console, retro, and Nintendo gaming. And of course, as usual, I'm joined by my good buddy Jason616, our local retro and Nintendo expert. Welcome again back to the podcast, buddy. What's happening?
Thanks, man. Nothing much happening. Just been a busy week doing some streams and some stuff like that. But no, all good, man. Going all good and feeling a bit better from last time. I've kind of got over my my weird throat destruction, so I'm back 95% of the way to good.
Nice, only 5% to go. Why not? As long as you don't crash at 99% and have to reboot, that's all right.
Oh, I don't think so. I think I'll survive it. I think I'll survive just.
Excellent, mate. So of course it is episode. What did I say? What episode did I say? 14. I think it is episode 14. So we're going to get everyone up to date on all the latest. Tonight I am going to talk about so something a little bit in the there's a little bit of a problem with the Halo Master Chief Collection to do with testing, which I'm going to talk about. Twitch launching its own broadcast software, which is quite intriguing. A little bit more on, of course, my favourite game, Rocket League, and of course something nice that Blizzard is doing to help all the World of Warcraft classic players as of today, and of course my honourable mentions. And I thought I might change up the end of our episode. You know how usually I'll do, do you feel old yet? I decided to change it because you do your This Day in Gaming, which is usually pretty similar to mine anyway. So I thought I decided I might end my little streams with a joke, just for something different, just for something fun.
All right.
And see how that goes. But what have you got for us tonight, mate?
All right. So I've got talks about university scholarships for gaming. That never thought that would go hand in hand. I've got a bit to report from the Sega camp as well as sales on the rise from the digital world as well, and some honourable mentions, and obviously my This Day in Gaming. So I've got a bit of news from all over the place. So a bit to cover.
Alright, dude. Well, mate, are you ready to get this boat rockin'?
Get the boat a rockin'. I'll get the boat a rockin'.
Good. Let's hope it doesn't sink. But look, let's let's do it. So,
oh Jesus!
So everybody, turn those earlobes on. Your eardrums are about to burst because you're about to get up to date on all the latest PC, console, retro, and Nintendo gaming. Let's do it. Alright, so as I mentioned before, the first thing I would like to talk about is the Halo Master Chief collection testing will resume when it's ready. So 343 Industries said it's still dealing with some serious bugs that are preventing public tests, which is a bit of a shame. Public test for Halo Master Chief Collection's Firefight Horde mode was supposed to come to PC in July, but has ultimately failed to materialise. The short explanation for the delay was bugs. The long version also, bugs! But with an in-depth explanation of Halo testing hierarchy, the current status of the firefight mode on PC, and why it all seems to be so complicated, 343 opted to hold back the testing due to blocking bugs that it simply could not get past before the end of the month. Blocking bugs are blockers that they are deemed to severe enough to prevent a flight from functioning as needed. So 343 explained in a new insider update. So bit of a shame to hear. That's one of the most anticipated releases for this year from me. I haven't played Halo since it first sort of took off back in, I think, 2002. I think.
Wow. Well, do you know what? I've played Halo an equivalent of one time.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yes.
I never really grew up on Xbox at all, so...
Yes. I mean, apart from Doom, Halo was probably one of my first-person shooting experiences, I'd say. Actually, you could say
GoldenEye for me.
Yeah, well, no, that's right. No, I sort of like, if you think about it, like Duke Nukem, Doom, Blood, GoldenEye, they're sort of
Turok as well.
Yeah, Turok. They were sort of a little bit different. You could say Halo was the next sort of like the next realm.
Generation, yeah.
It's next generation. I mean, that's obvious, but I mean, like, it was like there was the new bar was raised. They in their own you know what I mean, in their own way. Duke Nukem, Blood, Doom and all that sort of stuff. Even GoldenEye, they were sort of were sort of not similar in their own sort of little way.
I think GoldenEye really inspired a lot of it.
You could say that. You could definitely say that. So they I mean, Doom, like how Doom was. Doom was one of the first of its kind. Before, after Wolfenstein. I mean, Wolfenstein was almost unheard of, and then Doom came out. Doom was really sort of that, pin in, this is an FPS, you know what I mean? And then FPS has started following suit over the next decade, and then Halo comes out, and everyone's like, right, now this is an FPS, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, GoldenEye and all that were brilliant, but this was the new, it's like GoldenEye and Duke Nukem and all that sort of stuff. They're in their own little category. This was the category maker, so to speak. So yeah. Halo of that category, of that expenditure, was probably my first FPS experience, and all that sort of stuff. And believe it or not, since the Nintendo 64 was my last console, when I was probably about, I think the last time I played that was maybe about 12 or 13, was the last time I was playing N64. The Xbox was my first console in like 10 years. I was like 21 or something like that when I brought it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like 21 or something like that when I brought the Xbox. So that was a massive jump for me. So, and I really enjoyed Halo 1, Halo 2. Never got around to playing Halo 3 because I never brought an Xbox 360. I sort of took a break from gaming here and there, and ended up buying a PlayStation 3 instead of an Xbox 360. I had both in my hands. I was like, which one? And I ended up getting PlayStation 3. But yeah, never got around to playing Halo 3, which is probably on what I'm looking forward to doing the most, mate. So I'm looking forward to that, released later this year.
Yeah, it's funny you say with the Xbox, because I never had an Xbox growing up. When I moved in with my partner, she actually had a 360. Which out of all the consoles I had, the one console she had was an Xbox, which I'd never owned. So she brought that into the household, but she's now PlayStation. She doesn't really play the Xbox at all. And I now have about 3 Xbox 360s and an original crystal Xbox here, and I've paid for none of them. Well, they've all just kind of come to me somehow. So I still don't really play it, and even though I haven't played it, but I don't have Halo. But it's one thing I should definitely give a go, because it's one of those games that everyone knows about Master Chief, and everyone knows that Halo is probably Xbox's biggest title. And I've never really given it a go, so I really want to. I won't lie, I really want to.
It's great, mate. When this comes out, we'll be able to play it, because I mean, the whole multiplayer thing will be back to the way it is again, and all that sort of stuff, and we'll be able to play it for our channels. But yeah, mate, that is topic number 1 for me. Sweet.
Alrighty, so for me, US University to offer scholarships for top Super Smash Bros. Ultimate players. The University of California has announced that it is hosting a pilot scholarship term of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate players during the 2019-20 academic year. The scholarship has been made available thanks to a $50,000 donation from the owners of Street Media, a publishing company led by CEO and gaming fan Brian Calley. Players will be selected by the University Esports program and TAG Smash Ultimate Club. The funds will be used to offer scholarships worth of $6,000 to the top 6 players and to cover additional costs. The team won't have a traditional coach, but the UCI Esports will provide the necessary staff to coordinate practice times, travel, social media, equipment needed, and competitions. It's not just a case of showing up and playing games either. Players are expected to practice 10 to 15 hours per week and maintain a 2.0 cumulative GPA. So they are actually bringing esports into university.
Yeah, man. There's a couple of them in Korea. There's a couple of them there already. League of Legends.
Well, it's moving to League of Legends and Overwatch is the other one, I think, with scholarships. But esports, we were talking about esports being, replacing TV and movies and stuff like that. Well, it's even going to universities for scholarships now, and that's why I wanted to bring this one up. I thought that was insane that video games is becoming a part of university. They say here, oh, video games get you nowhere, blah, 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 blah. Well, here we are. We've got scholarships in university.
Yep, you cannot deny the inevitable. Video games are going to be absolutely massive and huge, and yes, everything else that comes with awesomeness.
Yeah, I mean, and to another topic as well that comes off the back of that is that the UK spends 1.56 billion on video games in the first half of 2019 alone, with digital sales on the rise. So consumers spent 1.56 billion on video games during the first half. The Entertainment Retailers Association has reported it's a 1% increase from the total spent during the same period in 2018, which reached 1.54 billion. So it's a 2.4 increase year on year. That it's going up. That people are spending money on games. So here's a fun thing: is the video games actually generate almost as much revenue as music and video combined, being the largest earning entertainment sector in the country by far. This is for the UK anyway. For comparison's sake, total spend on video reached 1.07 billion on the same period, while music spending reached 672.7 million. So video games highest selling. And track records as well with the first part of 2019, video games, GTA 5 is the highest selling video game at 361,000, FIFA 19 at 360, The Division 2 263, Red Dead Redemption 2 259, Resident Evil, Days Gone, Siege, Call of Duty, Forza Horizon, all above the 150,000 mark in that top the first 6 months of this year. So video games, like we said, are definitely rising over music and TV. It just is. It's going to be the strongest media. And as I said, I'll debate this till the cows come home, and I'm willing to put $1,000 bet on it because that's how confident I am. Give it 5 to 10 years, and hard copy will no longer exist when it comes to PlayStation. Oh God, yeah. Video games will thrive in the entertainment business. They just will. They will.
I mean, it's all coming too much in the digital age now. I mean, like I said, the PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox Scarlet, I can almost guarantee that there won't be discs anymore. And
digital age.
It solidified my theory when I saw the specs of the PS5, when they said it was going to be two things. One, it's going to come with an extended solid state drive, and two, it's going to have backwards compatibility. So having the solid state drive, so having the extra memory and extra room to hold digital copies is a giveaway. And the fact that it's a solid state drive, meaning that that solid state drive, for people that aren't aware, solid state drives are much faster than high definition drives or HD drives. So HD drives, depending on the drive and depending on the software drive, solid state drive that you compare to, most solid state drives are almost basically twice the speed, sometimes even 3 times the speed. So you go and play a game and it loads it straight away, like instantaneous compared to straight off the disc. So, and that's what they kept on saying about no loading times and all this sort of stuff. So, so basically what they're saying is that loading a digital copy of a disc that's already installed in your drive from a solid state drive, it loads instantaneously. So there's almost no loading times or waiting times. So I mean, when you play a game, even when I play games on depending on the game, on single player, there's very little to no waiting times as well. I know Skyrim, when Skyrim did the remastered version, and I'm playing it from my solid state drive, it's almost instantaneous. There's no waiting screen. When you walk into a town, it's got to load. Sometimes that will take about 30 seconds, 40 seconds on an old PlayStation 3. On my PC, it's about 3 seconds. So, and that's from a solid state drive and all that sort of stuff. So there's that, and of course the backwards compatibility that gave it away, because if it didn't do backwards compatibility and there was no room for a disc, they didn't even put a disc slot in there anymore, because it was all digital. People will be reluctant to buy it straight away, because they will still want to play their PS3s and PS4s and blah 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 blah. So if they launch it with backwards compatibility but PS5 is digital, people will be more likely to buy the console, and therefore they are now weaned off of the hard copies. They spent a whole generation buying digital copies, and then the 6th generation will be purely digital with no backwards compatibility, and then all of the old games will be like remastered and put on the digital library catalogs, and then you can re-download them and all that sort of stuff. And they might even do a thing where if you've had the hard copy game, you know how when you put a game in the PS3 or PS4 game in the PlayStation, it has to sort of copy it and it has to sort of slightly install it.
Downloads it anyway.
Yeah, it's got to install it and all that sort of stuff. So maybe the PlayStation Cloud will recognise that you've had the game, and they say, well, you've had this game, you've been playing this game for the last 5, 6, 7 years. Here's a free digital copy of it for when you upgrade to Generation 6. This is my premonition. So it makes sense. Of course it makes sense because I'm saying it. But you know what I mean. It's probable. That's what I'm meant to say. It's quite probable that something like that would happen. So, but yeah, mate, the digital age is upon us. Definitely.
All right, let's throw it back to you, man.
Cool, mate. Sounds good. So, the second thing I want to talk about is, to my surprise, this is only breaking news from 4 hours ago. As of today, Twitch has launched its own broadcasting software. So, since that you yourself are a Twitch affiliate, this could be great news for you, Jace, or it could be horrible news. This eliminating the need for third-party software like OBS, basically. So, Twitch has become the digital watering hole for many gamers. Lives are a place where they... hang on. Start that again. Twitch has become the digital watering hole of many gamers' lives. No. Lives a place. That's what I'll get it. Lives a place where they gather to watch streamers, chat, and play through their favourite games. Watching Twitch is easy. Just open a stream and you're good to go. But for building content creators who don't know much about how to stream on Twitch, the process is a bit more involved. Today, Twitch will launch Twitch Studio, a first-party broadcasting software that should make starting a stream career a bit easier. So basically what it is, you have to use things like OBS and all that sort of stuff, set up your camera, tweak it, and your audio all separate, tweak it and all that sort of stuff. Apparently Twitch has it all in one go, so I don't know how it works. I'll have to obviously check it out later on. Basically, people can load it up. It will detect your camera, it will detect your audio, whether it gives you the best possible or options to enhance your audio. Will it pick up things like voice meter? I don't really know. I'm sure it would, because most other platforms do. And it even does things where you can actually deck out your page, a lot more easier. So like notifications, all that sort of stuff, you can really customize it. So, like yourself, where you had to build yours from almost scratch. I think there's a lot of templates available. There'll be a lot of uniformity and consistency across most people. A lot of Twitch streams will probably look the same. There won't be any uniqueness, but I still don't know yet because I haven't seen it. But in a way, it's good that new people can sort of start up and basically look professional from day one. But at the same time, and it's also good for people that just want to stream but they really struggle to sort of make it look decent, or they just don't know because they don't do it because they don't know how to do it. But however, it's making people lazy because, in my opinion, that's half the fun, and that's what makes it so much more satisfying.
I mean, when I look at when I set up mine, I mean, I've changed. You've seen I've changed mine over time. Like I just had my one color and did my thing and whatnot. But I've changed mine over time, and I've kind of found my way. But there was no shortcut for me, And when you stream for the first time, I like to look the shit from the get-go. I don't like to start half-assed. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't like that. So I wanted to start looking good. So I went and created it, and mine's evolved now, and you saw mine this morning. It's looking a lot better than what it ever has done because I'm getting used to OBS. However, I feel like if I was to jump to Twitch and do the setup there, I think I wouldn't have the abilities to have as much freedom as I do currently. I think Twitch, if you want to set up with Twitch and use their studio, it's going to kind of just be like, here's your setup, have your image here. Upload your image, it will go there, your chat box will go there, but you won't be able to have the freedom to move stuff around or have as many overlays, and I think it will just be for those that just want to have a basic looking stream. I mean, I like having all my socials and all that there for everyone to see. I like my setup, you know what I mean? But I feel like it will be great for those starting up on Twitch, but for those like me who want to have a certain look, I feel as though it won't be as what's the word? It won't be, for one, it won't really be needed, but for two, it won't kind of I don't know the word.
Uniqueness?
You know, it's just gonna. I don't want just a an out of the box kind of layout.
Yeah.
I want my own. I don't want to look like everyone else. I want to stand out above the crowd, and I don't just want to have the same thing everyone else is doing, just with a different color or a different photo.
Yes, 100%, mate. Exactly, and that's the other thing, is that when you it's as much of a grind as it is, but it's nothing more satisfying when you don't know why your picture's not looking good. It's frustrating, but you don't know why your picture's not looking good, or your microphone's not sounding good, or how do you chroma key or green screen out, and then you go and research it and you figure it out and you do it, and then you hit that stream button and everything's working perfectly. There's no satisfying feeling, and then when it comes to you wanting to improve, you go and do some research, and then you go ahead and you apply it and you do it, and you suddenly make improvement, and you just feel so much more productive. You feel so much more, a step forward in your career when you actually go and do these things yourself, so but yeah, as you said, mate, it's good for people just starting off until they find their feet, but as long as people don't get too complacent, and make people lazy. But to all the streamers out there that do want to keep your own flair, I recommend you do it, support it, do your research, figure it all out, do what you got to do. It's just so much more better. You're just in more control of your channel. You're not just doing it for the sake of doing it and being lazy, because like I said, if you can do hard work and be positive at the hardest times, you can do it any time. So just get out there, get your hands dirty and get it done. But mate, that is topic number 2 for me.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to when you start streaming. For me, I've learned a lot. I hit affiliate last week, and I'm only just starting out, but today was my 6th day in a row, and I found 7 followers just this week, just by streaming games. It's a, and don't get me wrong, it's probably the way my stream looks when you come in. It looks a bit different, as opposed to if I just look like the same as everyone, you just get lost in the bunch. I would feel it's really hard to stand out on Twitch from the get-go, because with the amount of people you have watching your stream, if people are just browsing the game, you're right at the bottom of the pile. And they get one little screenshot to see how yours looks, for them to click on you. So you'll want to look good. So it's stand out from the get-go. Work hard, because you don't get anything in life for sitting there. You need to work hard to get something. So that's what I've done. I've done it the old school way of redesigning absolutely everything from the start. So anyway,
yeah, man.
Alright, so for me, we all remember how bad the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer was, right? Sonic looked like shit, I'm not gonna lie. And I think we all were worried. Well, we know it went back into to be remade, because the backlash of that trailer went bad. And they've put it back to Valentine's Day 2020, and they're going to redesign Sonic. Well, Jim Carrey has come out and responded to the to all that backlash. Now, we know Jim Carrey is a man of a man of words when he needs to be. But when we got our first glimpse of Sonic, there was like a mass outrage online about the design of how Sonic looked. Jeff Fowler, which was the director of the new Sonic film, has delayed it and vowed to change the controversial design. And it's now set to come out Valentine's Day 2020. Although the decision has been praised online, it doesn't necessarily reflect everyone. Jim Carrey, who plays Dr. Robotnik, which I am really super duper excited to see him as Robotnik. I think it'll be fantastic. In the upcoming film, was recently asked about how he felt about the delay of the movie and Sonic's redesign during the Television Critics Association for his Showtime series Kidding. Well, he's not quite sure about the audience being involved in the creative process. but does think it could be a case of people jumping on the bandwagon and not really caring about it. So what he said was, I don't know quite how I feel about the audience being in the creation of it. We'll see what we'll see what entails, because sometimes you find that the collective consciousness decides it wants something, and then when it gets it, I just wanted it, I didn't care about it, I just jumped on the bandwagon. Ownership of anything is going out the window for all of us. So Jim Carrey speaks, he speaks from the heart a lot of times, and sometimes he's very misunderstood. I get where he's coming from, although I do think that Sonic needed an overhaul. He did not look right. But the director's just listening just to the audience point of view and changing a whole film based on the audience. If we were to, get a stick up our asses about any film that doesn't look good, does that mean everything's going to go back to the cutting room? Are we? Like, what's going to happen there? So, look, honestly, Sonic was bad, and he needed to change, and I don't deny that. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this movie. I feel like now they're going to take this back on. They're going to redesign him, but when they release it, no one is going to care. I think that it's, the hype around the Sonic movie was cool, but now when it comes back out, the hype is going to be gone. Like you said, they just wanted it, they didn't care about it, they just jumped on the bandwagon. It's, it will just kind of be swept under the rug, and it won't have the same feel. I mean, I'm going to go see it anyway, because I love Sonic. Sonic's great. And Jim Carrey as Robotnik, I mean, you couldn't have a better Robotnik. He's he's the right guy for it, and for him to stick back into comedy is great. But how do you feel about it? Do you think, listening to the audience on one's point of view is a good thing, or sticking to your guns? I mean, how do you feel about this movie? Well,
it is definitely, I 100% see where Jim Carrey's coming from, because he's worried about, like you said, just a lot of plebs just getting on, keyboard warriors just getting on, going, I agree, something looks like crap, change it, and they'll probably never see the movie. So, I see what he's saying, and he's worried that, give or take the result, the movie's going to remain the same, and it's not going to, I think maybe the director has responded that, because it's a gaming movie, it's mainly related to gamers or pop culture enthusiasts and all that sort of stuff. So we better listen to them and do what they ask, because then this will make or break whether this movie makes $1 million or $1 billion. So I think that's what the director is anticipating, and maybe Jim Carrey was sort of thinking, I wouldn't think that too much into it, because you might be more disappointed than what you were getting there. You're putting too much faith into a whole bunch of 14-year-olds, or in this case, Sonic being around since the 90s. Everyone's in their 30s that are probably saying stuff like this, which gives it a little bit more merit. Because again, don't get me wrong, there's still 30-year-old trolls out there that don't give a shit. But
the movie in itself looked fine. It's just the design of Sonic was bad.
Yeah, exactly.
What these people have got to understand is the movie's not going to change. It's just the design of Sonic.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. And that's the thing, is that they were right though. Sonic didn't look like Sonic, and Sonic needed to look like Sonic. Because since it's a Sonic the Hedgehog movie, he needed to look like Sonic the Hedgehog. Really, he had that comedy. He had the voice suited him. Everything was fine. It's just the way he looked. Yeah, exactly.
But how much are they going to change?
Yeah, don't know. We have to wait and see. But yeah, man. He needed to change, and I see where Jim Carrey's coming from. I guess, like I said, time will tell if the movie. It's not that kind of movie that's going to break box offices. It's not a Marvel Avengers movie.
I don't think it's going to do. I think
it's not going to do terrible.
Pikachu. When it comes to video game movies, Detective Pikachu kind of broke the mold for a damn good what you'd think Pokemon would be in the real world. I don't think. But any which way you put it, it's just it's just a very not so R-rated Deadpool movie is Detective Pikachu, because Ryan Reynolds, to touch anything, it turns to gold.
Yes.
He was great as Pikachu. It had that Ryan Reynolds comedy to it. However, the world has struggled making video game movies. Let's face it has. And I feel like Sonic the Hedgehog is not gonna break any box office records, and I it just won't. But it's gonna be one of those movies that I think will fly under the radar as just being okay. I think it will be just okay. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Video game movies haven't always had a good crossover.
No, they haven't.
No,
they haven't.
I'm saying that we're hoping for that Mortal Kombat one with the fatalities, and it's going to be R-rated and designed by the guys that did Saw, or directed by the guys that did Saw.
Yeah.
I hold good hopes for that.
Yeah. And then Sub-Zero comes out wearing pink. Oh, fuck off.
He comes out wearing like no pants.
Yeah, he's a transgender
frozen.
just to keep the rainbow minority happy. So yeah.
Move on.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not gonna hold my breath. It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me either.
Yes. Anyway.
Alright, back to you, man.
Alright, man. So, topic number 3 for me, touching on one of my favourite games of all times. There is a massive, massive whale of crying tears of saltiness in the local Rocket League, well, not local, but in the world Rocket League community, because Rocket League has announced just a couple of days ago that they will be removing the paid crates later this year. A new system will replace the paid loot boxes, and it comes in the wake of the controversy announced a few months ago about Epic taking over Psyonix's reins. Well, Psyonix will always be the reins of the cart, but Epic will be the big voice in the back of the cart telling them where to go. So Epic really getting in full control of Psyonix's Rocket League, their pride and joy, their jewel in their crown with it, Psyonix. So following its acquisition by Epic Games in May 2019, Rocket League developer Psyonix has starry plans for its vehicular soccer game. One of these plans includes the complete removal of all paid randomised crates from the game later this year. Psyonix confirmed in a brief blog post that the current paid randomised loot boxes will be replaced by a new system that shows the exact items you are buying in advance. The developer cited Fortnite's change to V-Bucks llamas, which now displays the contents before you buy them, as a point of reference. Psyonix said that the decision reflects its dedication to creating the best possible experience for our players all over the world. Now, this has gone completely nuts in the Rocket League community, and I'll explain why. So for people that don't really play much Rocket League, or have only just started playing Rocket League, or aren't over familiar with the loot crate system, when you play, you get dropped certain crates. As the game gets updated and moves along through seasons, there are different crates that get dropped. In each crates, there are cosmetic items. Now, the most exciting, and it's actually pretty good, they developed a really, really good thing. So just like in Fortnite or Apex Legends, there are costumes, and you can dress your apparel and your appearance and cosmetics and that, and you can look a certain way, and some cosmetics make you look like a more higher ranked player sort of thing, right? With Rocket League, not so much. It doesn't. What you look doesn't make you look like a higher ranked player. It just shows how much money you spent on keys to open up crates, really. So now, in each crate, there's about 10 or 12 items. When you go and look at a crate, you can actually see what items are in this crate, but you have to buy a key to open the crate. The keys cost around about $1.20 each Australian. Now, you can open up the crate with the key. Once you open up the crate, it's randomly selected, right? So it will show you what chances of you actually winning out of the crate, but it's randomly selected. You can't actually choose what you want out of the crate, right? So you open up the crate, it will randomly select it for you. It goes through like the scrolling thing or this light system thing that it's doing now, and then boom, there it is, what you won out of that crate.
So you're paying $1 something for a random choice. For a random item. So don't get me wrong. Now, well, that's a funny thing. You're thinking, oh, that's pretty crap, but at the same time, the funny thing is there is rare items. There are very rare items. There are epic items. There are exotic items, blah blah blah. So there are items that are more rare than others, right? That are actually harder to get by far, like extremely hard to get, right? So you can open 30 of the same crate, and it'll cost you about $40 to do it. And there's about 0.2% chance of getting the most rarest items, right? Now, can you get the same one twice though?
Yeah, you can. Believe it or not, yeah, absolutely. It's bullshit luck, but yeah, you can. So you usually get a whole bunch of uncommon and rare items. You get wheels, there are decals to make your car look better, there are toppers and all that sort of stuff, and there are gold explosions. So the most expensive items, the most rarest items, are usually the wheels, the decals, and the gold explosions. Some of the most expensive items are those, and like I said, it's very rare to get these items, and then it's even more rare to get these items that are painted, because you can get different colours, and some paints are more rare than others. So basically, you get these crates. There are items in these crates. You buy a key to open the crate, and you get randomly the item is randomly chosen by the game, right? There are some items that are more rare than others. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting. Now, I'm going to bring up on my screen right here in front of me. So there is a massive community there's a massive trading community. There are a lot of people that are actually dedicated to the trading community. And believe it or not, there's actually quite a lot of people out there that actually make a really good income from trading, from crates and all that sort of stuff. And you're probably thinking, how? Understandable. Because there are people that go on these sites and they eventually earn themselves a good name where they get a lot of good stuff, and and they meet up and they trade inside the game. They become friends and they meet up, trade, and then they disfriend themselves and all that sort of stuff. And there are people that go on these sites and they have certain items and they want other items in return. Some people have certain rare items and they want keys in return. Like there's one on my screen right now, Dissolver, Mainframe, Streamline. These are all decals, right? And these are all really rare decals, and they're asking for keys in return. Like there's the Dissolver. This guy's got a Dissolver and he's asking for 32 keys, which is about $40, right? Let's say you open up one crate, which costs you $1.20 to do, and you get a Dissolver. Suddenly you've got something that's worth $40 in real money, and you've quadrupled your money before you even opened up any other crate, right? And there are more and more rare items, so on and so forth. And I'll change it over to the price list on my screen now, and this will give you a brief idea of what some of the things are that are worth. So some items that are painted are worth more than the ones that aren't painted. So gold explosion is probably the most expensive item on here on this page is probably the gold explosion. That's the Dueling Dragon gold explosion. That's actually worth about $60, $65 Australian. So if I got one of those, I could sell it right now, and I probably could get about $50 for it. So now, if I got $50 for it, or I got 45 keys, which is what it's worth, I could then go open up another 45 crates, and I might get another 2 or 3 extremely rare items that are worth $20 or $30 each, and that surplus just keeps circling. And there are people on there that build a reputation on these trading sites that have actually earned a good side hustle because they keep getting all these rare items, because they know how to surplus their income with the keys and money and cash, and they make a good little side hustle after school or after work or something like that. And like I said, everything that's worth, that only costs you $1 to get. If you think about it, if you get it in a crate, it only costs you $1 to get. Suddenly there are things here that average worth about 5 or 6 keys, which is worth about $8. So you've already doubled your profits and all that sort of stuff. Now, some things are worth bugger all, but you can trade it. You can trade 3 or 4 things that are worth bugger all to get one big thing if someone desperately wants it. So if you're always on the trade, you can always talk to people. So guess what? Psyonix and Epic are now removing this. It's now got to a point where it's not randomized, which makes the rare items even more rare, and the most rarest items even more rare. Therefore, they've lost their value, because what they're doing now is they're showing you what you can buy before you buy it and how much it will cost, and you just go ahead and buy it. So now there's no point to it. There's no point to the trade. There's no point to the value, because anyone can get it anytime they want if they want to spend the money. So the value's completely lost. The trading community is now in a downfall. It's in a down spiral. They're literally taking away the crates. So basically, you can go into a cosmetics area. I'm assuming you'll have a cosmetics tab in Rocket League now. Go through wheels, go through this and go that, and if you want, that's the thing I've always wanted. Now it's only going to cost me 5 keys to buy, or $5 to buy, or something like that, when I'd have to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Here's the thing though, and the reason they're probably doing that is because then the money's at least going in their pocket instead of them getting $1 and someone making $40 on it.
That's right, exactly. And they've caught people making money in trades, making extra money. They don't care about you, believe it or not, they actually don't care about you swapping an expensive rare item for keys, because the only way you can spend keys is by coming back into Rocket League and spending the keys. They don't care about that. It's just when people sell items for real money. So, things like that, because what they do is they will go, they've caught people advertising it within Rocket League, within like Facebook community pages. I have a dissolver, I have this, I have that. You can have it for $100. Here's my PayPal, and I'll swap it straight to you. Blah 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 blah. And there are reputable people on there that do it, and scientists have caught them, and they've permanently banned their account from Rocket League. And you Pick a Pixel, one of the Rocket League YouTubers, he got caught. He reckons he didn't, but there was actually footage. Someone recorded him doing it, and there was footage of it sent to Psyonix, because obviously this guy, people get haters. A hater just went after him and got Pick a Pixel and got him busted. So, and he claimed innocence, but the footage was there, and he had to come out and say, yeah, right, I did it. But he just made a new account. So, as you do. So, yeah, mate, there are heaps of people that have done it. Like, for example, I remember seeing a page of a titanium white octane with titanium white zombies with a titanium white halo. That was worth $400, and someone brought it for $400. It was absolutely nuts. So,
Jesus,
that's what these people do, and now that's all going to be changing by the end of the year. But me, I don't really care. I don't really trade much. I open crates every now and then, bits and pieces to get some items when I feel like I need to change. I wouldn't mind getting something new. It's a good feeling when you get something that's rare, because you're like, fuck yeah, I've got something rare. Like, for example, I've got a Hellfire gold explosion that's worth about $11. I've got one of them bad boys. So, but I'll never do anything with it. So,
but can you use in-game currency to get keys and that though?
No.
Or do you have to use your money?
You have to buy keys. Yeah, you don't. You can actually get decryptor keys once every now and then, like once every maybe 20 hours or so, or 25 hours maybe, or so. You might get dropped a decryptor key, which allows you to open a crate that you can have a cosmetic, but the item that gets chosen using the decryptor key, you're not allowed to use for trading. So, believe it or not. So, there are certain items that you can actually get that you can't trade. To stop trade spamming, when you get an item, you're not allowed to trade it for 6 days. To stop people from constantly trading this out, getting keys, buying crates, getting all this stuff, trading it out, and people just trading 24 hours a day. Once you get a new item, you're allowed to trade it for 6 days. So that sort of slows it down. It sort of regulates it. And if you open something with a decryptor key, which a decryptor key is what you get given by Psyonix to open up a crate, that item that you get with it, you're not allowed to trade it. So if you get an extremely rare item with a decryptor key, you're actually not allowed to trade it forever at all, ever. You're banned from trading it. So, but no, and that's the other side. That's the flip side. I'm starting to feel that, because believe it or not, when you play the game, you get dropped items while you're playing the game. So you'll be playing the game, and in between matches, Psyonix will drop you some rare items or unusual items, and they're never worth anything because they're common, because Psyonix gives them to you, and they're worth bugger all. That also makes me believe that maybe if you end up, just like how you do with Fortnite and how you do with Apex Legends, you've got a chance that the game, a very rare chance, but as you play the game might decide to randomly throw you a very rare item, or an epic item, or a legendary item, or whatever. So that doesn't happen. That never happens. No. Psyonix has never ever dropped anyone a Dueling Dragon, Gold Explosion, or White Zombies. They've never done it. They never do it randomly. They don't just give them to you. But in this case, they might start actually doing it. So and that's the other side of it. So who knows? I'm looking forward to see what happens. Like I said, never been a big trader. I don't really care too much about it. But yeah, that's interesting for me, and that's third topic number 3 for me, man. Third topic number 3. Yes.
Third topic number 3.
Third topic number 3.
All right, cool. So for me, my last little bit before some honourable mentions. Have you got another thing?
Yeah, mate. I got one more topic, and then my honourable mentions as well, buddy.
All right, cool. I'll do mine, and you do yours, and then we'll kick them honourable mentions. Okay, so Sega is said to reveal a mystery AAA game at Gamescom this month of August. So They've just lifted the lid on the lineup for Gamescom 2019, revealing that a mystery AAA game is about to be unveiled. Attendees will be able to have a first-hand look at Catherine Full Body, or 2 Point Hospital, which was recently revealed for Switch this upcoming Sega Mega Drive mini console as well. You'll get a nice first-hand look at that. But they have announced an all-new AAA game that is yet to be revealed to the public. What could it be? So there's talk in the air. The Gamescom is between the 20th and 24th of August. So there's talks that it could be the announcement of the new Super Monkey Ball, which we knew was coming, which, mind you, has just had a trailer, a game. What would you call it? Like a gameplay trailer. A gameplay trailer has just been announced for that one as well. So I don't think it's going to be Super Monkey Ball. That's already been announced. So I doubt very highly it's going to be announced again. They think it could be a new Sonic title to hype up the movie, which could be a good bet. Although a lot of people are aiming towards two particular things. And one of them is a Sega's version of Smash Brothers, which, okay, yeah. Keep in mind that some of your Sega characters are already in Smash, so I don't know how that would work. But they're thinking about revitalizing an old Sega franchise as well, in Golden Axe. So they think it could be a new Golden Axe that could come from Sega, which would be nice. That'd be cool. And we'll be going straight to Nintendo Switch. So there you go. A few things to throw up in the air about what it could be. But we'll see what happens. Golden Axe would be pretty cool. They're thinking a Sonic prequel as well. It's safe to say it will probably be something to do with Sonic. It probably will be.
Makes sense.
Also, people are hoping for a Streets of Rage as well.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
But we shall see what that is. Anyway, that's my third topic. So get ready for Gamescom. At the end of the month, we'll know what that new AAA title will be. And I'll keep my eyes on rumours floating around.
No, that's really cool, man. That is really cool.
Alright, back to you.
Cool, mate. Alright. So, my fourth and final topic, which I thought I found something really interesting, was Blizzard is helping people find old World of Warcraft friends. So, get the gang back together for World of Warcraft Classic. So, of course, with World of Warcraft Classic just around the corner, the final test is today. You might be wondering what happened to your friends, your first guide. Sorry, Hank. Your first guildies. I'm not reading at all today. I suck. Or where that orc that taught you the PvP ropes ended up after nearly 15 years. There are probably a few powers you've lost touch with, and what better a time to reconnect with the relaunch of vanilla World of Warcraft. That's easier said than done if you know an ancient character name, but Blizzard is trying to help players reconnect with Classic Connection system if you are trying to recapture the 2004 to 2006 magic. Hop on over to the forums and find your power. So it looks like Blizzard, in the Blizzard page, there's a forum with the World of Warcraft Classic that people are trying to reconnect themselves with like their old World of Warcraft names that they used to have, and people might used to play with each other all the time, and after 15 years they would have completely forgotten about it or lost it. Then if they're obviously playing the game again, would it be nice to connect with that old guild that used to play with years ago or something like that. So who knows, some of these people, it was like one of the last games they could have played before they sort of ventured off into their adulthood from their teens and never really looked at gaming again. And who knows, maybe they've decided only just get back into gaming and play this again or something like that, or they never played World of Warcraft since 2004 and they would like to again, and how good it was playing with their old mates and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure quite a lot of them stayed in touch, but I thought this was a cool thing that Blizzard is doing, trying to get people to interact with each other again, just like old times 15 years ago. I mean, how good would that be if there was a couple of guys that did used to play together all the time, completely lost touch, and they found each other again thanks to Blizzard? I mean, that's a great story in my opinion. But yeah, for sure. That was a nice little touching topic. Good old Blizzard, especially in the wake of their controversy about treating their staff like crap and cutting games and firing people and all this sort of stuff, and their CEO's jumping ship because
Bit of positive news.
Yeah, it's a bit of
Coming out of
positive
their
news
camp is all good.
coming out of the deadly Blizzard Activision sort of circle, because they broke off from Bungie and all that sort of jazz. So, so at least something decent coming out of there for once, which is what I like to hear. But mate, that is topic number 4, honourable mention time, I believe.
Yeah, I've got a few honourable mentions this week. So, anyone a fan of the WWE? Well, the game Brawlhalla have done a crossover with WWE for their SummerSlam event. You can get Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as your fighter, or if you wanted John Cena, Becky Lynch, or Xavier Woods. No surprise with Woods, he's a gamer through and through with his own YouTube channel, actually. Funny dude. So there's a crossover between WWE and Brawlhalla. That looks some epic fun. And The Rock, you can't go past Dwayne Johnson. Have you ever played Brawlhalla?
No, I haven't, no.
It might be one we might want to have a bit of a play. It looks quite fun. So as well, Smash Brothers Pro Player has been banned from the tournament after match fixing admission. Oh dearie dear. So yes, it's a guy that goes by the name Captain Zach has, that's what he's known as in the professional fighting scene, revealed on Twitter that he has been barred from entering the upcoming SmashCon tournament. Reason being is that he tried to blackmail a now former pro player by the name of Ali. He instructed the player to lose against various high-profile opponents in a number of big competitions. So he got found out. He got banned. I hate fucking people that try and match fix with video games. If you're gonna play a game, learn to be good at it, or don't fucking play it in competition. It's just as easy as that. Cool. The good thing is the Nintendo Switch. I've got a hold of Mario Tennis the other day. We got to trial it for 6 days. I like how Nintendo's doing that. They're letting you trial games and then giving you 33% off if you like it after downloading the trial. It's a nice way of finding out about games. And it's not just a demo. They're giving you the whole kit and caboodle, which is nice. Well, once Mario Tennis is over, Cadence of Hyrule is now going to be free for 6 days if you want to give that a go. So Nintendo are going to continue rolling out the try this game for 6 days, and if you like it, have it for 33% off.
But can you complete the game within 6 days, or does it stop you like halfway through or something?
Nope, full game.
So people can actually complete the game in 6 days and just put it back on the shelf?
Yep.
You're right. Interesting.
It's a risk they're running.
It is.
But with these games, they have more than just a story. You know what I mean? They're lasting. They're good multiplayer games, or they have a lasting appeal.
This is true.
With Mario Tennis, you can complete it, but the entire game, it can be played over and over and over again. So although it says you can complete the game, but there's more to do after. Cadence of Hyrule, I've been wanting to play it. I'm a Zelda guy, so I'm going to get my hands on it and give it a go. It's combining music as well, and it's got some epic music. So for that crossover with what is it? It's crossover with Crypto the Necrodancer, so it's like a collaboration game. It looks fun as hell, so I will check it out once Mario Tennis is over and done with. And my last bit of honourable mention is a 1987 NES game just sold for $9,000 after being found sitting in an attic for 30 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so Scott Amos of Nevada recently found an old 1987 NES game in his attic after looking through his childhood possessions. The game in question was Kid Icarus. Still in the bag it came in, with the receipt also corrected and present, so it was still sealed up and everything.
Wow.
The receipt tells us that it was bought in December 1988 for $38.45, just over $80 today, and it's been completely forgotten about ever since it was bought, still in its shrink wrap and everything. All the family had been trying to come up with a hypothesis. My mum thinks she put it in there and never gave it back and never got it back out. Then it ended up in the attic. So that's what Ammo says, or Scott says, it just so happens that Kid Icarus finds itself at the rare end of scale of sealed NES games, resulting in something of a jackpot for Scott and his family. The game was put up for auction online at the Heritage Auctions, and it sold for $9,000. So if you have a copy of any old NES games that are still sealed up that you haven't opened, get them checked out, because it was forgotten about, still in its shrink wrap, $9,000 just like that.
Yeah.
And Kid Icarus is a damn good game, by the way.
Yeah.
So, which is weird because it never went anywhere else from the NES, and yet Pit is in Super Smash, even though we only had that one Kid Icarus game. But there you go, NES game selling for $9,000. That's pretty funny. Just finding it in your attic.
Insane. Insane.
Pretty crazy.
Insane.
Alright, that's my honourable mentions.
Alright, mate. Sounds good. I'll move on to mine. My honourable mentions in the wake of the whole Borderlands 3 hype, especially with the whole controversy side, along with Borderlands 3, which I'm not going to get into. But Borderlands 2 has sold 22 million units to date, which is really, really awesome. Great job for 2K, and Gearbox as well, naturally. And Gearbox? Yeah, I think pretty sure Gearbox. Oh, God, my brain's not working today. Yes, Gearbox. And franchise overall has reached 48 million units, which is really, really awesome as well. So pretty much everything to do with Borderlands, 48 million units sold in total coming in, which is just going to obviously skyrocket when Borderlands 3 comes off, which is really awesome. A lot of people are getting back into Borderlands over the last few weeks and probably over the coming months, because the whole Borderlands 3, I know I have played Borderlands 2 and pre-sequel a couple times just to get my Borderlands head into gear when Borderlands 3 comes out, which I'm looking forward to. So that's a big congrats to 2K and Gearbox. And of course, my second honorable mention is, after a very long wait and probably begging and pleading from a lot of the fan base, even though Apex Legends by Respawn, the Battle Royale heavyweight game itself, basically it always had a 3-man squad mode, and the game was built around teamwork and a 3-man squad, and to a point where a solos almost felt like it wouldn't work unless they changed the game itself. But Apex Legends solo mode is actually happening as of they're doing a 1-week trial. Actually, they're doing it from the 13th of August to the 27th of August. I know I'm going to jump in there and do it. So it's happening, and Apex Legends solo mode will be added to the Battle Royale game soon. Solos will arrive as part of the Iron Crown Collection event, which runs from August 13th to 27th. There is no word on if solos will stick around after the event ends. So look, that's a good start, because I think that's one thing it's missing, and I reckon that's why the player base dropped off very quickly, was because people just got sick of playing with randoms, and they had no choice but to play with other people. And some days you just don't feel like turning on your mic and just playing with other people, and having solos is a good way to go about it, because just like any game, Fortnite has it, they have squads, duos and solos. Rocket League has it, PUBG has it. There is no reason why. I know the game was built around squads and communication, but there's no reason why they don't, and I think that's why a lot of people just lost interest, because they did need a solo. So I'm so glad to hear that coming into Apex Legends myself personally. Cool. Yeah, man. But that is my honourable mentions, buddy. So
sweet.
It is your favourite time of the day.
And what's that?
It is This Day in Gaming.
Roll that really exciting, energetic jingle.
Yeah, I tell you, it's just insane. I mean, I've got brain cells dripping from my nose of how awesome that is. I mean, of course,
better every week.
Yeah, better every week.
That's for the 3 people that listen.
Yeah, I know, right? Mine's still exactly the same, but yours is pretty insane. It's pretty awesome.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Here we go. This one isn't very old. Okay, this one isn't very old, but today, on the 9th of August, 1976. Not very old at all. It was actually the release of the cubic Atari 8800.
Jesus.
Older
than
old
me.
Atari. I know. And way older than me. That was like, I don't know. When I was almost going to say, when was I born? No, 13, 13 years before I was born.
Yes.
When was I born? Why would I use I was trying to like math it, and I was like, when was I born? I was like, wait, I know when I was born. Why am I even asking that question? And why would I ask you? Wouldn't I know it?
Yeah. 42 years ago.
Yeah, there you go.
Ouch.
13 years before me.
Long time, buddy.
For sure. Alright, that's today in gaming. Short and sweet.
Alright, well, I thought I'd change up my Do You Feel Old Yet? I thought I might change it to a little joke. I don't know why, I've decided to start telling jokes at the end of it, but I thought, screw it, I'll tell a little joke. I'm going to try and make my jokes as pop culture related as possible. So, whether it's to do with gaming or, just comic book legendaries or something like that. But today is going to be a bit of a Batman joke. What do you reckon?
Alright, I'm down.
You're down for a Batman joke?
I like the Batman villains, so let's go.
Alright. So, Alfred. Alfred wakes up one morning feeling a little bit chirpy. Alfred, Batman's butler or Bruce Wayne's butler, however you want to put it. Alfred wakes up one morning feeling a bit more chirpy and chipper as usual, in a bit of a hop, skip and a jump happy mood. Makes his way down to the kitchen, and he already sees Bruce Wayne sitting there reading his newspaper, all peaceful, and or Batman, however you want to put it. And of course, Alfred says to Batman or Bruce Wayne, however you want to say, "Good morning, Master Bruce. Would you care to hear a joke this morning, Master Bruce?" And of course, Bruce Wayne or Batman, however you want to put it, thinking to himself, "This isn't really like Alfred." Yes, okay, all right, Alfred, all right. Let us hear your joke. Let's hear it. Yeah, as you wish, Master Bruce. Very good. I say, Master Bruce, knock knock. Knock knock. Right. Okay.
Who's there?
Okay. Knock knock. Right. Okay. All right. Yes. Who's there? Not your parents.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. That is bad. That is bad. That is so bad.
Yes, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's pretty good. Pretty awesome.
It's ones like that are so bad that they become so good.
Yeah, I know, right. Exactly. The best way to put it. They're so bad, they're good. Yes.
And that's how we're going to round off the podcast.
Yes, it is. It
On
is.
that.
It is. It is. So everybody out there, that is podcast number 14. You're all up to date on all the latest PC, console, retro, and Nintendo, and bad Batman jokes today. So we will see you all in the next JayNAS podcast. But before you do, to let you know, links in the description to join JayNAS's subscribe to his YouTube, where you can see his version of the podcast, and also links below to join our UGE Facebook group as well, be part of our growing gaming community. And of course, as always, Jace,
same description, link to check out NASG gameplays. Go check him out, as well as join the UGE movement. We're taking the world by storm. So
correct.
We're almost triple figuring. Almost triple figuring.
We are.
In just under a month.
Yes, we cannot wait to hear your first impressions of a first-person shooter game, whether it was in the late 80s or 90s or 2000s. Was it Halo your first? Was it Doom? Let us know over in the UGE page. Just click that link below. We cannot wait to hear from you. Say hi, and we'll see you all in the next JayNAS podcast.
Catch you later.